Hello, welcome to my new channel. Let me explain a little bit about my channel and what my goals are. I started this channel recently. My other YouTube channel has been mostly about my artwork, ceramics, things like that. But the last few months I've been kind of on a health journey. So I decided I need to share a little bit about that. So over the next few videos that I'll be posting, we'll deal with my health journey. Who I am, where I was, where I went, how unhealthy I became, why I decided to change my diet, change my health, change my lifestyle, and then I'll be sharing what's happening to me physically, the things I've been changing, the changes in my life, my drug labs, or medical tests, whatever you want to call them, the ability to eliminate a lot of the medications I've been on that really I just have come to believe that they're just toxins that the drug companies were convincing the doctors I needed rather than fixing the lifestyle I was living. So that's what I want. As I was thinking of this channel, the title came to me of Physician, Heal Thyself. Now that is from the Bible. It's in Luke, the book of Luke. Jesus himself was telling, actually said that to those that were criticizing him. In the time, that was a saying that was very common, that was almost an insult. By saying, physician, heal thyself, of course that's our English versions of it, not the original. But basically what that saying was, that was very well known and said a lot, was, hey, don't tell me what to do if you can't take care of yourself. And it kind of hit me. You know, I thought back about the doctors that I'd seen through the years. How many of them were specimens of health? I've had doctors that were old and gray and wrinkled, probably more than they really were age-wise because of maybe stress. I had doctors that were definitely overweight, probably not eating a balanced diet, a good diet. So a lot of things. So I got to the place where I'm like, why should I listen to you when you don't even show me that you're taking care of yourself? So that's kind of where my name for this channel is, Physician, Heal Thyself. I am not a doctor. I'm not a trained professional medical person. I've had medical training. I used to be certified as an emergency medical technician years ago. I also had a medical lab license in the state of California where I could work in a medical lab, draw blood samples, urine samples, whatever, blood glucose tests, and how to basically process the specimens. I did not analyze them, but I knew enough to know a little bit about blood results and things like that. Although I'm not a doctor, I don't claim to be. So what I want to do is take you on a journey, my life journey. My name is Steve. I am 66 and a half, almost 60. I'll be 67 next month. Quickly and abbreviated, I'm going to more detail later in the next video or two. At one point in my life, I believe I was 33, 34, somewhere in there, I had gotten to 342 pounds. Not good. I ended up finding that out because I ended up in the hospital after experiencing a severe panic attack. Of course, I didn't know if I was having a heart attack or what. But that's how I even found out I weighed that much. I ignored my weight. I knew I was over 300. I didn't start off that way. I was always, I guess, a husky kid, but in high school, of course, I was a lot more active. I was riding my bicycle to and from school, several miles, different things like that. Involved in some sports here and there. So I was about 200, maybe 220 at the most in high school. Then I went away to college, got away from the influence of my mom preparing every meal, I guess, and kind of started having a free-for-all with food, and I got away with it. I was active. I could, there was nothing I couldn't do physically that I wanted to. At least that's what I told myself. You know, I didn't want to do certain things. But overall, I pretty much was able to do what I wanted. But then as the years went by, again, not too long after finding out I weighed 342 pounds, a doctor told me, well, I think you might be diabetic. Okay, well that was a little bit of a scare, but you know what? I was like, so what? My grandfathers, both of them, were diabetics. And one lived to be in his mid-70s. My other grandfather actually lived to be 95, even though he was diabetic. So I kind of figured, well, it's just hereditary, it's what it's got to be. So anyway, finally I just realized I had a stroke almost 7 years ago, which ended up making me hemiplegic, however you want to say it. So you probably can't tell, but I am in a wheelchair right now. My left side is mostly paralyzed. I have a little tiny control of my left shoulder. I'm able to use my left leg slightly, but my problem is balance issues because of nerve damage, things like that on my left side. I can stand and use a walker for a short few steps. I do live alone. I have my own little apartment that I share with my little dog, my little cat, and as you can see over my shoulder here, I have this aquarium, and I also have another aquarium on the other side of the room. This one's a saltwater, the other one's a freshwater. So that just kind of tells you some of the things that are kind of hobbies to me, if you will. I already mentioned I'm still dabbling in ceramics, although I can't do what I used to do, like throwing on a wheel and things like that. But I'm working on it, trying to get back to it. Well, all of a sudden I just kind of made up my mind, you know what, there's got to be a better way of living. At that point I was on 2 different types of insulin, 4 or 5 times a day. I was on 2 different types of medication for cholesterol. One was a statin, the other one was just, I don't know, some kind of, I think the other one was for triglycerides. I believe that's what they said it was for. I was on an antidepressant. And honestly, I didn't realize I was on antidepressant because the doctor gave it to me when I asked if he had something he could help me with the neuropathy. Well, it turns out the drug he gave me was an antidepressant, which I did not fully understand. I don't believe he ever mentioned it. But as I started taking interest in my own health, I looked into that. And I'm like, uh-oh, especially when I saw the withdrawal symptoms. So to start with, all my life I knew that I wasn't eating right. I tried different things. I tried, my mom had me when I was young on a earlier version of Atkins diet. I liked it because I love meat. I ate all the meat I wanted. Cheese. I thought it was great. Problem was I wasn't sticking to it correctly, letter of the law, if you will, for Mr. Dr. Atkins. I've tried Weight Watchers, counting calories, counting points, whatever it was. Not too long after I found out I was the high weight that I was in my mid-30s, I decided to try Jenny Craig. And of course that's where you buy the prepaid meals, and turned out that was real expensive. Plus I was just, I had 3 kids and a wife at home, and they were eating whatever they want, and I'm sitting there eating this little miniature, unappetizing TV tray dinner. Yeah, I lost a bunch of weight. I think I got down to about 250 pounds on Jenny Craig, but it just kind of, eventually I got wore down and my willpower didn't work anymore, and so that was the end of that. I had another doctor I went to, supposedly a weight specialist. He put me on a drink, if you will, a liquid diet called Medifast. So I thought, okay, I'll try this. So at that time, I think I was back up to about maybe 280 pounds. Started doing the Medifast. All of a sudden, after 2 or 3 months, I'd lost again, about down to 250 or so. Don't remember exactly. But I started having chest pains. Went to the doctor, told him what was going on. He stuck me on a treadmill for a stress EKG. Now, this is about when I'm maybe 38, 40 years old. And of course, I did the test. And he said, okay, we'll call you with the results. So off I went. About 3 hours later, my wife's calling me, saying, the doctor wants you to go straight to the hospital. And of course, I'm in a panic. I'm out with my daughter. We were running some errands. So now I'm really panicked and stressed. So I go to the hospital. I lay in a hospital bed for about 4 days. Finally, a cardiologist showed up. He looks at me. He looks at my blood tests. He looks at my stress test, and he said, go home. There's nothing wrong with you. Your heart was stressed because of your weight, but there's no signs of heart attack or anything. So they sent me home. Come to find out, it was really a bad case of heartburn, indigestion, GERD, whatever you want to call it. I was having terrible acid reflux in my stomach that was causing my chest pains. That's what it was. So needless to say, Medifast diet went in the garbage. And I just went back to my old ways of life. I don't know, a few years later, I went back on Weight Watchers. This time it was a whole different point system or whatever. Well, that lasted for a while. I was good on that for a short time. Again, probably lost 20, 30 pounds. But I gave up. Couldn't handle it. Went back to my old way of living. So I pretty much had settled out at that point, probably at about 280 to 300 pounds, fluctuating right in there. Been lower, but been higher, so I was okay. The thing was, I was noticing I'm having to take more and more insulin, and my blood sugar is still not in control. Again, I'm like, shrug my shoulders, oh well, gonna just have to deal with it because of heredity. And about 7 years ago, as I already mentioned, almost 7 years ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and my left side was paralyzed. Let me tell you, that was a wake-up call. Of course, I'd heard, oh, you're prone to a stroke, you're prone to a heart attack as a diabetic. I'd heard all this stuff. But I just kind of had the attitude, not me, or if it happens, whatever. So that kind of put me on a whole different frame of mind, if you will, to an extent. That's when I really got into monitoring my triglycerides, my other indicators. I think at that point was the first time I'd ever heard of an A1C test, which I'll get into in another video. But all of a sudden, with those tests, I found out my A1C was running over 10 points. 10.2, 10.3, up and down. No matter what I tried, different foods, different insulin amounts, different types of insulin, oral medications. I was just constantly fighting that 10 point something. So after learning how to live for 6 years on my own, as a stroke patient and now handicapped, I got tired of everything, tired of the drugs, tired of the medication, just tired of being tired. I was always tired, my bones were aching. So I said, I gotta make a change. Now I've been watching YouTube videos for several years, having to do with mechanical things, how to fix my car. I don't like paying other people for something I can do myself, although that's not possible anymore. I was watching YouTube videos to learn more about ceramics, how to do different things, and of course I was still loving to watch those videos, even though at that point I'd given up on really doing it. And I just finally said, this is not a good way to live. I'm not that old. I don't think I am. I've got 10 grandkids, ranging from, I think, 2.5 or 3 is the youngest, almost 3, all the way up to 21 now. That's hard to believe. And I'm like, wow, I want to see my grandkids grow and start families. I want to see those things. And it just got me thinking, I need to make some changes. So I started watching some YouTube videos on food and diet and things like that. I knew a lot. I knew enough to know I wasn't eating right. So without really following a diet plan, I started going kind of low carb. I cut out several things. I cut out drinking diet soda. No more diet soda. I went to drinking iced tea, unsweetened iced tea. And I knew you're supposed to drink a lot of liquids, water. So I was drinking a lot of iced tea. I would still have my coffee in the morning. I cut out a lot of pretty much anything that had sugar. Once in a while, for an occasion, I might have a cookie or a piece of cake. But overall, I cut it out. So after doing that for a few months, I went to the doctor as part of my annual thing that they want you to do. Had the blood work and tests done, had my weight checked, and I came in right at about 270. And this was 6 months ago. My A1C had quote unquote improved. I was down to 9.2, I believe. I think it was 9.2. My triglycerides, mostly I think because of the medications they had me on, had dropped. My overall cholesterol was actually in a good range. My triglycerides were still high, but not like they were. I think my triglycerides were 175 or so, somewhere in there, when they'd been over 300 for a long time. So I'm thinking, well, okay, I'm doing better. But then as I was watching some videos, I saw people talking about getting off drugs, not taking prescriptions anymore, getting off or minimally having to take insulin or oral diabetic medications. And it just hit me. Why can't I be that healthy? So I started researching. I went really low carb, probably down to 50, 60 carbs a day total. Not that net carb stuff that they put on packages, which is pretty much useless. Just a marketing scheme. Then as I continued to watch, I came across keto diets, and I talked to a couple of people that I knew that were doing keto as a lifestyle. And I thought, wow, okay, maybe I should go there. And so I talked to them. They gave me their recommendations of cutting my carbs back more, eliminating. One lady was like, don't eat anything white. No rice, no bread, no milk, no this, no that. If it's white, tortillas, whatever, don't eat it. So I thought, okay, all right, nothing processed, basically. So I started doing that. All of a sudden, I found out after a month and a half of that, my blood sugars were running very low, and I had to cut way back on my insulin shots. Went from 5 a day to 2 a day. And the amount of insulin was cut by 70% or more. All of a sudden, I started feeling lightheaded. Checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure's low. So I cut my blood pressure medicine in half. And then eventually stopped taking it. And I said, well, this shows me a lot about how eating correctly affects my body. So the next thing I did is I made some other changes as I was learning from YouTube videos. Now I have to warn you, be careful who you watch on YouTube. There's some great people out there, very encouraging, very science-driven, if you want to call it. There's other people out there that are just telling garbage. And of course, there's a million people that'll tell you that you're going to kill yourself on this kind of a diet. Well, I just had my new blood results a few weeks ago, and I'll get into the details on that. But they were so close to normal. My A1C was the big one. It had gone from 9.2 to 6.8, which is at just not very far over what the level is for when they decide you're diabetic. I've never had it that low in the amount of time that they've been taking A1C tests on me. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the day of being off my diabetic medications, no more shots. I've already eliminated most of the prescription drugs. I did have a rough time getting off the antidepressant that I was on for neuropathy. That was not real fun, but it wasn't as bad as what the videos on YouTube said it was going to be. And I think that's because after doing some research, I learned that in the process there's some supplements that can help me get through that. So I did. I used some of the supplements that were recommended. I'm not a teacher. I'll share that a little more later. But I was able to get off the antibiotics or antidepressants much easier than what most people on YouTube are saying they went through on their withdrawals. Very positive. And I've now not even taken those supplements anymore. My neuropathy is pretty much gone. I don't have any pains in my hands or fingers or feet. Not to say I'm still not experiencing numbness because of the damage to my nerves that's been done. But I think even that'll improve over time. I didn't get this way in 3 months, 6 months, so it's not going to get healed in 3 months or 6 months. I'm okay with that. The main thing is my goal is not about my weight anymore. Yeah, I've lost a bunch of weight. I'm down to 224 pounds as of this morning. So that's over almost 120 pounds from my heaviest that I know of. So that's kind of good. I'm not yo-yoing back and forth yet. Hopefully I never will. I don't plan on, as I make this a lifestyle now, a choice. It's a choice I've made to live and eat better. So anyway, that's kind of my story. This is the introduction to my channel. why I want to start it, why I called it what I did. I think we have to take responsibility for ourselves. We can ask for medical guidance, but even the doctors, we can't count on them completely on giving us the whole story, because they're looking at surveys and studies and testing and all that are provided by the drug companies. And of course, the drug companies, I'm sure, want to make it look like they're helping people, and that's their goal, regardless of the fact that maybe they'll make a couple more $1 billion on each drug they bring out. Again, that's my opinion. So I really hope you like this video. Join my channel. Click the little notification bell. Come along. If you're already on a keto, carnivore, whatever diet, and you're doing well, whether you're done with your weight loss goals or whatever your personal goals are, let me know. Leave a comment. Put your YouTube channel in. You give me your YouTube channel and I'll subscribe. I know that's kind of important as far as growing our channel. So you subscribe to mine, I'll definitely subscribe to yours. Share them. That's how we can grow together and support each other. So please, come along with my journey, and I hope you learn from me. Again, I'm not a doctor. All I'm doing is sharing my experiences, my lab results, the changes I'm making in my life, and just asking you to come along. And I hope I can encourage people to continue if they're already trying to make changes in their life, or maybe to start for the first time or the 10th time. It doesn't matter. But you definitely can make a difference in your life. Not be depressed, not be unhappy. I sleep so much better. I don't have aches and pains. I don't have heartburn. I'm not on any kind of pain medication or anything. If that's what you want, let's do this together. All right? I'll post another video in a few days. I'm not sure what topic it will be, but it'll be kind of what I'm going through since I really went on the keto/ketovore lifestyle. It's where I'm at now. So I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. And again, I hope you like and subscribe to my channel. And let's share with each other and make ourselves better. Let's pay to make ourselves healthier by what we eat, rather than paying the drug companies a bunch of stuff to keep us sick and generating money for them. That's my honest feeling now. So have a blessed day. It's Sunday. I don't know where you are, but I definitely believe in a higher power than myself, and I have to rely on that every day to help me make the changes I've made in my life. Again, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.